What truly separates the men who leave their mark on the world from those who simply pass through it? Think about that for a moment. Think of figures like Nikola Tesla, whose mind electrified the planet. Think of the great fighter Mike Tyson, in his prime, a force of nature in the ring. Think of the martial arts masters, the great artists, the leaders whose mere presence could change the temperature of a room. Was it just talent, luck, genetics? Or was there something more? An internal fuel source, a wellspring of vitality they drank from that the common man seems to know nothing about. If you've ever looked into the eyes of these men, you've seen it. It's not arrogance. It's not ego. It is a fire, an intensity, an unshakable presence that tells the world, I am here, and I am a force to be reckoned with. What if I told you this fire is not a divine gift bestowed upon a few? What if I told you it is a discipline, an ancient and almost forgotten art of cultivating and mastering the most primary power source that exists within a man? For millennia, from the mountains of Tibet to the temples of ancient China, masters, alchemists, and emperors guarded a secret. They understood that male sexual energy was not a mere impulse to be satisfied. They saw it as the raw material of life itself, an essence they called Jing or Ojas, the golden elixir of vitality. They discovered that, when this essence was squandered recklessly, mental clarity dissipated, willpower weakened, and the spirit grew dull. But when this same energy was conserved, cultivated, and redirected inward, it transformed. It became a nuclear fuel for creativity, for courage, for health, and for the expansion of consciousness. Now look at the modern world. What does it teach you? The exact opposite. The current culture bombards you with the message that frequent ejaculation is healthy, necessary, a simple stress relief, pornography, instant gratification, the ceaseless hunt for stimulation. All of it is designed for one thing, to keep you leaking, to keep you in a silent hemorrhage of power. But deep in your soul, you've felt the truth of this ancient wisdom, haven't you? You have felt the brutal difference in yourself, the difference between the man you are and the weak you've been disciplined and focused, and the man you become after a moment of weakness. You know the mental fog that follows the release, the sudden apathy, the death of that ambition that burned so brightly hours before. You know the feeling of being emptied, not just physically, but existentially, as if a piece of your own soul was traded for a 3-second pleasure. This loss of power is not a life sentence. It is the result of navigating a dangerous ocean without a map. In this video, I am going to give you that map. This is not some vague theory. This is the sacred journey of semen retention, decoded into 7 clear, progressive stages. We will walk together from the first and most difficult decision to retain your life force, through the challenging phase of detoxification, all the way to the incredible rewards of increased vitality, magnetic presence, the activation of your intuition, and finally, alchemical mastery. This is your opportunity to stop being a victim of cultural currents and become a master of your own energy. The question is not whether you have this fire within you. It is there. The only question is whether you are ready to stop throwing your life force away and start using it to forge your destiny. If the answer is yes, your journey begins now, and every great journey requires a trustworthy guide. This channel is our compass. It is the place where we share the maps for this sacred territory of masculine energy. If you are truly committed to walking this path, your subscription is your official first step. It is your declaration to yourself that you have answered the call. With that done, let's proceed to the first stage. Welcome to the journey. By answering this call, you are not embarking on a passing trend or a modern biohack. You are aligning yourself with a lineage of wisdom that spans millennia, cultures, and continents. You are knocking on the door of a mystery school that has always been here, silent and potent, waiting for those with ears to hear. Before we unfold the map, it is crucial that you understand the depth of the territory you are about to enter in. the ancient Taoist traditions of China, seminal energy was revered as Jing, the most fundamental of the body's three treasures. They saw it not as a simple reproductive fluid, but as the essence of your vitality, the very wax of the candle of your life. With every waste, the candle burned faster, shortening your longevity and diminishing your power. Their masters developed complex practices, like the microcosmic orbit, not to suppress this energy, but to circulate it inward and upward, rising through the spine to nourish the brain, calm the heart, and awaken the spirit. To them, a man who mastered his Jing was a man who mastered life itself. On the other side of the Himalayas, in ancient India, the yogis and tantric masters came to the same conclusion. They called this subtle essence Ojas. To Ayurvedic medicine, Ojas is the final nectar of all the body's tissues, the substance that governs our immunity, our radiance, our mental clarity, and our spiritual potency. The practice of brahmacharya, often mistranslated as mere celibacy, was, in its essence, the art of conducting oneself in alignment with the divine, and the primary tool for this was the mastery of sexual energy, the conservation and sublimation of ojas. Even in the West, the alchemists who sought to turn lead into gold spoke, often in code, of a prima materia, the raw material of all creation. For many, this raw material was raw sexual energy, the lead of our lower instincts, which, through a process of purification and internal heat-forge, could be transmuted into the gold of enlightened consciousness. But this is not just wisdom locked away in dusty texts. It is a living principle, a performance technology that the most exceptional men in recent history have applied, whether consciously or unconsciously. When Nikola Tesla revolutionized the world with his electric visions, he did so from a state of strict celibacy. He wasn't just avoiding distractions. He was using his entire life force to fuel the laboratory of his mind, allowing him to visualize entire inventions with a clarity that bordered on the supernatural. When Muhammad Ali, the greatest of all time, prepared for a fight, he practiced a legendary abstinence, sometimes for months. He knew that to manifest that divine combination of grace, power, and indomitable resilience, he needed all of his fire. He was, quite literally, transmuting his sexual energy into poetic savagery inside the ring. Mike Tyson, in his prime, echoed this same discipline, stating that retention made him a more ferocious and explosive animal. Even titans of innovation, like Steve Jobs, deeply influenced by Eastern spirituality, were known for their monastic focus and legendary intensity, a hallmark of men who do not waste their energy on frivolities. These men, from different eras and fields, discovered the same truth. The energy that creates life is the same energy that fuels greatness. And that is why you are here, because on some level, your soul recognizes this truth. Now, the lineage has been established. The path has been validated by the giants who came before. It is time to unfold the map. The journey you are beginning has been codified by these masters into a clear, progressive process. We have broken it down into 7 main stages. Think of this video as your expedition guide, a map that not only shows the final destination, but details every step of the terrain. We will begin with the most fundamental and, for many, the most difficult step, the conscious decision to honor this energy. Then, we will navigate together through the process of reconditioning, breaking years of programmed habits. I will prepare you for the most feared and misunderstood phase, the crossing of the detoxification desert, showing you why the challenges that arise are actually a sign that healing is happening. And then, we will explore the extraordinary rewards that await you on the other side, the first awakening of your true vitality, the emergence of an inexplicable magnetic presence that changes how the world interacts with you, and the activation of your mind's higher faculties. Finally, we will reach the summit of the mountain, the 7th stage, the true alchemical transmutation, where energy is no longer something you manage, but something you become. A force that permeates your entire being, aligning your body, mind, and spirit with a higher purpose. This transformation will occur on every level of your being, on the biological level, with the rebalancing of your hormones and the strengthening of your body, on the psychological level, with a mental clarity and willpower you may have never known, and on the spiritual level, opening the doors to a deeper connection with yourself and the universe. If you are ready to take the first step into this sacred territory, the journey begins with a single, powerful choice. Let us proceed to stage 1. Every great transformation begins not with an action, but with a choice, a vow. The first stage of this journey involves no complex techniques, no physical exercises. It occurs entirely in the silence of your being. It is the conscious, unshakable decision to stop treating your most potent energy as a byproduct to be discarded and to start honoring it as your most precious treasure. This first, seemingly simple step puts you on a direct collision course with the programming of the modern world. Contemporary society, through ignorance or by design, has taught you that frequent ejaculation is healthy, normal, and necessary for stress relief. It is a narrative that serves a culture of fast consumption and low energy. The ancient traditions knew the opposite. Traditional Chinese medicine and Ayurveda, medical systems that have observed the human body for millennia, emphasized that the vitality contained in semen is the very foundation of health, longevity, and mental clarity. They did not see semen as waste to be expelled, but as the most concentrated form of your life force. Biologically, this view makes perfect sense. What you are retaining is not just a fluid. It is an incredibly complex, nutrient-dense elixir, rich in essential vitamins, minerals like zinc and magnesium, proteins, enzymes, hormones, and neurotransmitters. It is, quite literally, a life-giving substance that your body spends an immense amount of energy to produce. With every ejaculation, you are, in fact, discarding nutrients and forcing your body to spend precious resources to replenish what was lost. It is a constant leak in your energy system, but the loss goes beyond the physical. The Taoist masters identified a power center in the body, located about 3 fingers below the navel, which they called the lower dantian. This is not a physical organ, but an energetic reservoir, the alchemical cauldron of your being. They taught that sexual energy, Jing, when conserved, accumulates and condenses in this center, increasing your personal power, your stability, and your inner strength. Every ejaculation is a withdrawal from this reservoir. Every act of retention is a deposit. Therefore, this first stage is a vow. It is your higher self, the king, declaring a new law in your inner kingdom. It is the decision to prioritize long-term power over momentary pleasure. It is a commitment to honor your own biology and your ancestral heritage. At first, it will require willpower. Your mind, conditioned for years, will protest. But understand this vow is not an act of denial or repression. It is the first and most powerful act of self-affirmation. It is you, as the sovereign of your own realm, deciding to close the floodgates to stop the hemorrhage of power and begin the process of finally filling your inner reservoir. Stage 2, RECONDITO, an NG. Vow has been made. The intention has been set, but a decision, however powerful, is only the map. Now, you must learn to drive the vehicle. The second stage is reconditioning. This is where the battle against years of neurological and muscular programming truly begins. Think about it. Since puberty, your body has been trained in a single pattern. Arousal leads to ejaculation. It's a reflex, an autopilot. Pornography, cultural myths, and the lack of a true sexual education have created a neural superhighway in your brain, a path so well worn that your sexual energy flows down it without any resistance. Our goal in this stage is to build a new trail. At first, it will be narrow and require conscious effort to walk, but with practice, this trail will become the new main path. This process of rewriting your neurology is the essence of reconditioning. Science shows us how this works. Ejaculation causes a blast of stress hormones, like norepinephrine, and a dopamine spike that activates your sympathetic nervous system, the fight or flight system. It is a high-intensity, short-duration event that leaves the body in a state of depletion. In contrast, the retention and circulation of sexual energy activate the parasympathetic nervous system, the rest and regenerate system, promoting a state of calm, presence, and sustained power. To begin building this new pattern, you need 2 practical tools: a brake and an anchor. The physical brake. Your body already has a braking mechanism. For the ejaculatory reflex, the pelvic floor muscles. This is the same muscle group you use to stop the flow of urine. Strengthening this brake is your first practical training. Start practicing contracting these muscles throughout the day. When you urinate, stop the flow. Contract for 3 to 5 seconds. Then relax. Do a few sets. This simple exercise, known as a kegel, will give you direct muscular control over the ejaculatory threshold. During arousal, firmly contracting this muscle at the right moment can physically prevent the point of no return. The breathing anchor. As arousal builds, breathing becomes short and shallow, accelerating the process. Your breath is your anchor. When you feel the energy rising intensely, consciously switch to slow, deep, diaphragmatic breathing. Inhale deeply through your nose, feeling your abdomen expand, and exhale slowly through your mouth. This calms the nervous system and helps to circulate the energy. Rather than letting it accumulate explosively in the genital region, along with physical training comes mental reconditioning. Start to separate the idea of pleasure from the idea of ejaculation. Understand that the body is capable of experiencing waves of orgasmic pleasure throughout the body without the need for the energy-draining seminal release. This stage requires patience and, above all, self-compassion. You are undoing years of a deeply ingrained habit. There will be attempts and failures. But with every practice, every conscious contraction, every deep breath, the new neural trail grows stronger. With time and discipline, retention will cease to be an effort and will become your new nature, opening the door to the deeper stages of purification and power. Stage 3: Detoxification, the purge after making the decision and beginning the training. To take back the reins, your body and mind enter new, uncharted territory. You have stopped the chronic energy leak. Now, the system must deal with this newly conserved force and, at the same time, expel the waste accumulated over years of the old pattern. Welcome to the 3rd stage, detoxification. This is the phase that most tests a man's resolve. It is the crossing of the desert, the trial by fire that separates the curious from the truly committed. Paradoxically, right after starting such a powerful practice, you may begin to feel worse before you feel better. This is known as a healing crisis. During this period, which can last for a few days or a few weeks, you might experience a variety of uncomfortable symptoms: headaches, irritability, and mood swings, insomnia or extremely vivid dreams, digestive discomfort, and an increase in urinary frequency. Do not be alarmed. Do not think the practice is harming you. On the contrary, these are unequivocal signs that your body is responding. They are proof that a deep purification is underway. Ancient wisdom provides the map to understand this process. In traditional Chinese medicine, seminal energy jing is closely linked to the health of the kidneys. When you stop wasting jing, your kidneys, which are the body's filters, begin an intensive cleansing job to purify the blood and energy, making space for this new, potent essence to be stored. The irritability and aches are the trash being thrown out. In Ayurveda, retention begins the process of rebuilding ojas, the body's most refined substance, responsible for your immunity, radiance, and vigor. For this pure nectar to accumulate, the body must first expel AMA's physical and energetic toxins. Your system is literally doing a deep clean to become a worthy vessel for a higher frequency energy. The key to crossing this desert is not to fight the symptoms, but to support your body in its cleansing process. Your action plan for this stage is to focus on maximum hydration. Drink more water than usual. Water is the vehicle your kidneys will use to flush out toxins. Additionally, embrace light, clean nutrition. Reduce or eliminate heavy, processed, and inflammatory foods. Focus on fruits, vegetables, leafy greens, and healthy fats. Give your body a digestive break so it can focus on purification. Finally, support the release. Light exercise, walking, and yoga help accelerate the elimination of toxins through the skin and lymphatic system. Be patient and compassionate with yourself during this phase. You are clearing out years of accumulation. This discomfort is the sound of your system rebooting and healing itself. It is the necessary prelude to the immense increase in vitality that awaits you on the other side. Stay the course. The crossing is worth it. If the third stage was the crossing of the desert, the fourth is the arrival at the oasis. After passing through the purification, your body, now clean and rebalanced, begins to manifest the first and most undeniable fruits of your discipline. Welcome to the awakening of your true vitality. This is not the artificial energy of coffee or an energy drink. It's not a euphoric peak followed by a crash. This is different. It is a steady, burning bonfire at the core of your being. You start to wake up before your alarm, not out of anxiety, but with a sense of readiness, of genuine energy. The morning mental fog that you may have considered normal begins to dissipate, replaced by a clarity that cuts through procrastination like a knife. Motivation stops being something you have to find externally and starts to become something that springs from within. You become the engine of your own life. This transformation isn't magic, it's biochemistry. Frequent ejaculation subjects your body to a hormonal roller coaster. Each release causes a spike in prolactin and other hormones that lead to lethargy and apathy. By practicing retention, you allow your hormonal levels to stabilize at a high and constant baseline. Anabolic hormones like testosterone and growth hormone, essential for physical vigor, emotional resilience, and ambition, are maintained and utilized by your body for regeneration and strengthening. Instead of being constantly drained away, the ancient traditions poetically described what science is now confirming. This newfound vigor is your jing being preserved and fortified. It is the subtle radiance of ojas beginning to shine from the inside out. But with great power comes a new and crucial responsibility. This potent energy needs a channel. If it is not directed, it can manifest as anxiety or aggression. Now, more than ever, you must channel this life force for constructive purposes. Channel it into creation. Direct this new clarity into your creative projects, your work, your studies. Channel it into the body. Use this physical strength in intense workouts, sports, or martial arts. Test your limits. Channel it into spirit. Practice breathing techniques to further circulate and refine this energy, transforming it into spiritual vitality. And, crucially, protect this new treasure. Avoid wasting it on the same old drains. Passive consumption of social media, superficial socializing, and cheap dopamine stimuli. Your energy is now high octane. Don't burn it in a lawnmower engine. Let's pause here, at the fourth stage. This is a turning point in the journey. It's the moment when discipline begins to transform into visible power. Many men walk this path in silence, feeling these changes but thinking they are alone. The truth is, there is an invisible brotherhood forming, and this comment section is one of our meeting points. So, I extend an invitation to you. For those of you already on this journey, what was the first real, undeniable benefit you felt? Was it the mental clarity, the newfound strength in your workouts? And for those of you just beginning, which of these benefits, the vitality, the focus, the inner fire, calls to you the most? What is your great why? Share your perspective. Your story might be the spark another man needs to read today. This isn't just a comment section, it's a campfire. Let's warm ourselves with our collective wisdom. If the fourth stage was about feeling the fire burning within, the fifth is about how the world begins to see your light. As you continue to cultivate and conserve your life force for weeks and months, an extraordinary change begins to occur. It's not something you do, but something you become. You begin to develop a magnetic presence. This is one of the most talked about and yet most mystical aspects of semen retention. It is a phenomenon you will not need to announce. The people around you will feel it. What does this mean in practice? It means people start to notice you differently. You draw looks when you enter a room without saying a word. People give you a level of respect that you may have previously felt you needed to demand. Your opinion in a conversation carries more weight. There is a calmness and self-assuredness that radiates from you, a solidity that is reassuring to some and intimidating to others. And yes, you will notice a significant change in how women respond to you. They will become more receptive, make more eye contact, and feel more at ease in your presence. This isn't magical thinking, it is energetic physics. The seminal energy you are accumulating and refining does not stay dormant. It circulates and amplifies your bioelectric field, your aura. Ancient texts would explain this as the result of the perfect balance between yin forces your discipline and inner receptivity, and yang forces your potency and life force. You become a dynamo of integrated, centered, and authentic masculine energy, and this frequency is unmistakable to the nervous systems of those around you, especially to the feminine polarity, which is naturally attuned to it. But here lies the greatest test of character in the entire journey. The great warning of stage 5 is the ego trap with this newfound power of attraction. The temptation to use it for external validation is immense. The ego can inflate, leading you to seek superficial conquests to prove your new power. To fall into this trap is to betray the purpose of the practice. It is to take the gold you are beginning to transmute and trade it for the cheap coins of vanity. This will only lead you back to the cycle of waste. Your mission in this stage is to see this magnetism not as a trophy, but as a tool for impact and a test of integrity. Use this magnetic presence to speak the truth. Your voice now carries more authority. Use it to stand up for what is right, to express your ideas with courage, and to set healthy boundaries. Use it to serve. Offer your calm, centered presence to soothe chaotic environments. Inspire others, not with words about your practice, but with the silent example of the man you are becoming. Remember, this magnetism is not the final goal. It is a byproduct of your inner alignment. It is a megaphone for your mission. Use it wisely, remain humble, and stay focused on your greater purpose. For the next stages will take you into even deeper realms of consciousness. If the fifth stage was about how your energy impacts the outer world, the sixth is about how it begins to radically refine your inner world. With continued practice, your life force, now purified and accumulated, begins to overflow from your lower power centers and rise, nourishing the higher faculties of your mind. Welcome to the activation of your intuition. This is the stage where the journey transcends the purely physical and psychological benefits and enters the domain of the spiritual and metaphysical. You begin to perceive the world through a new lens, a new organ of perception. The manifestations are subtle, yet unmistakable. Solutions to complex problems begin to pop into your mind spontaneously, as if they were downloaded. You develop a gut feeling about people and situations that proves to be consistently accurate. Synchronicity becomes commonplace. You think of someone, and they call you. You need a piece of information, and a book falls in front of you. Your creativity flourishes, and you feel less like a creator, and more like a channel for ideas coming from a place beyond yourself. How is this possible? We can look at it through two lenses. The lens of modern neuroscience is beginning to give us clues. Semen is rich in substances like nerve growth factors. The hypothesis is that when this essence is conserved and reabsorbed by the body, these precious compounds become available to the brain, potentially stimulating neurogenesis, the creation of new neural connections, and literally upgrading your cognitive and perceptual abilities. The lens of ancient wisdom offers an energetic explanation. Yogic and tantric traditions teach that refined sexual energy ascends the spine and activates the ajna chakra, known as the third eye, located between the eyebrows. This energy center is the seat of intuition, discernment, and perception beyond the five senses. By retaining and circulating your energy, you are, in fact, providing the fuel needed to open this center and awaken your latent intuitive faculties. But, just as in the previous stage, this new power comes with an even more subtle and dangerous test, the test of discernment. The great warning of stage 6 is the delusion trap with heightened inner sensitivity. It's easy to confuse the projections of your own ego, your desires, and your fears with true intuition. The spiritual ego is one of the most treacherous traps on the path. Your practices in this stage are: cultivate humility, recognize that you are a receiver of insights, not their omniscient source. Use logic as a filter, do not abandon your rationale mind. True intuition never contradicts universal logic, though it may transcend it. Use your discernment to test your perceptions before acting on them. Check your intention. Constantly ask yourself, is this insight serving my higher purpose and the good of all, or is it just inflating my sense of being special? This is the stage where you learn to listen to the quiet voice of inner wisdom. It is a precious gift that, when cultivated with humility, becomes your most reliable compass for navigating not just your life, but the very mystery of existence. After a prolonged period of consistent practice, traditionally regarded by many masters as 100 days or more of uninterrupted retention, the journey enters its final and most sublime stage. This is no longer a stage of acquiring new powers, but of total integration. It is the coronation of the king. After a prolonged period of consistent practice, traditionally regarded by many masters as 100 days or more of uninterrupted retention, the journey enters its final and most sublime stage. This is no longer a stage of acquiring new powers, but of total integration. It is the coronation of the king. Welcome to Alchemical, transmutation. At this point, the seminal energy you have conserved and purified completes its cycle. It is no longer just sexual energy. It has been metabolized, refined, and transmuted into a higher frequency vital essence that permeates every cell of your body and every layer of your consciousness. The process that began as a conscious discipline has now become your nature. The effort falls away, and what remains is a state of being. This is the point where the body, mind, and spirit finally align and operate as one cohesive unit. Your actions, words, and even your silences flow effortlessly from a center of peace and purpose. The inner war is over. The wild horse and the rider have become one, a centaur. The garden and the gardener have merged. You begin to live as a fully embodied spiritual being. You become more resilient to illness, emotionally unshakable, and crystal clear in your life's mission. But, as in all other stages, with the greatest power comes the greatest and most subtle responsibility. The final warning. The great warning of stage 7. The demand for impeccability in this state of elevated energy and clarity. The impact of your thoughts, words, and actions is immensely amplified. There is no more room for negligence. The journey now demands impeccability. The final trap is that of spiritual superiority. It is looking out at the world and at others who are still asleep with a hint of judgment or impatience. Your role now is not that of a judge, but of a lighthouse. Your function is to hold the space for the awakening of others with a quiet, unwavering compassion. By walking with humility, your being becomes a mirror of the living divinity, a reminder to others of the potential that lies within them. Your life is no longer about you. It becomes an act of service. You find ways to express your inspiration and power in alignment with your purpose, whether by creating beauty, building communities, healing, or teaching. You are no longer practicing retention. You have become the embodiment of transmuted life force. You are, in essence, a divine human. Live as such, and so, we complete the exploration of our map. It is a profound journey, I know. My intention in sharing this path was not just to inform, but to ignite a spark of recognition in you of the power that already exists within. If you felt that spark, if this 7-stage map resonated with a truth your soul already intuited, then your like on this video is the echo of that resonance. It is your silent signal that the message was received. The 7 stages we have explored are more than a guide. They are a sacred invitation to rediscover your deepest power. This is a journey that demands, yes, discipline, humility, and the courage to walk against the current of a world that encourages waste. But the fruits, as we have seen, transcend the physical, elevating your mind and awakening your spirit. The ancient traditions knew it, and modern science is beginning to confirm it. The energy that creates life, when honored and cultivated, has the power to regenerate, expand, and illuminate your existence. The map is in your hands, and if this journey of self-transformation is the path your soul longs to walk, then know that you have found your tribe here at Neuro Alchemy. This is our laboratory, the meeting point where cutting-edge neuroscience joins with the timeless wisdom of alchemy for a single purpose: to forge a sovereign mind and spirit. If you refuse to be less than you are capable of being, subscribe now, so you do not walk alone, and join our community of men who have chosen to evolve with purpose. Thank you for your deep attention, and for your courage to explore this territory. Remember, the path is not about perfection, but about progress. The journey is just beginning. I'll see you in the next video.